Hey there, and welcome back to Wonder Lake. This is episode number 4. It's been a while since I uploaded, and there's a good reason for that. I think I've put about 15 to 16 hours worth of time into this brand new area of the park. So I didn't want to post a video that wasn't really quote-unquote complete or ready to show, and to be honest, I recorded this episode probably 4 times. I think this is the 5th time, and I finally decided that, you know what? This is a great place to update y'all on where the park's at. So without further ado, we got a lot to get into, so let's go ahead and jump straight in. So first things first, we have this brand new family coaster. As you may have heard me mention in previous episodes, we are going to work on making a family area. Well, this isn't totally exactly a family area. It actually turned into a boardwalk area. But this family coaster is truly the landmark of this area. It started out just as a pretty generic ride, and then it started becoming a little unique as I started building it. I started forming the terrain to it, and it started having a really creative, interactive layout with itself. I just absolutely love how it turned out. It plays with the terrain perfectly, and I'm proud of this rock work, truly. I love the way all the foliage and the rock work turned out, and it just looks fantastic. On top of that, I've got to say, this looks fantastic at night. So let me go ahead and turn it to nighttime mode here. The lights here is really where it shines. I just love the color, like the rainbow in here. It really pulls your eye to it. And especially when you're out here on the midway. Let me go over here real quick. When you're walking here on the unfinished midway, you see this, it pulls your eye to it immediately. So obviously you can still see there's some lighting that needs to get done here in the entrance, and there's more to come here. But with this ride, it's absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. So yeah, we'll get a POV of this at some point in time in the future. The only thing I'm not super, I'm not gonna say I'm not fond of, because I do like it, but the station, it doesn't really match the rest of the area, which we'll get into, but I think I'm gonna keep it because I kind of like the idea of this being an older ride that the area has been retrofitted for, and it makes sense. I think it just makes sense. So without further ado, we'll say that one more time here. Without further ado, let's go on to the next stuff here, next layer of stuff. And man, this took me forever to build. First things first, I want to say that this lighthouse and the building behind it were taken from the workshop. I don't remember exactly who I took it from, but I did modify both of them quite a lot. The lighthouse was just modifying colors, but the building here, I ended up changing the doors around, changing colors, and added a side to it and all that kind of stuff. So I'll link those creators in the description. But Millie's here. I am so incredibly happy with this building, and just wait till you see the one next to it. Super stoked about that. Millie's actually comes from Mackinac Island, which is in Michigan. I've never actually been, but my wife actually made the suggestion for it, and I love the name. We found it on a restaurant actually named Millie's on Mackinac Island, so took direct inspiration from that. Now this is like a fried chicken, mashed potatoes, comfort food, kind of southern kitchen restaurant. It is a sit-down restaurant, even though it doesn't have an interior. We'll just use our imaginations, but I got ahead of myself here. Actually, I want to back up and backtrack and just kind of show off the foliage here and this little game shack right here. I just absolutely love this curb pack. I found them on the Steam Workshop. It really makes the park look pretty realistic, and the foliage is just perfect. Not to toot my own horn, but I love it. It looks very realistic. I feel like I'm actually in a park, and it feels like a theme park. But here's a little game shack onto the next thing here. Little game shack. We have some ring toss. I had downloaded that from the Steam Workshop as well, years ago, years and years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And then I ended up deleting the facade of it and just using the inside. And then I added my own little stuffed animals that come from the shop as well, just to give it more character. And then I have a little basketball chute here in the middle. Not super realistic. I probably should have made this whole thing one or the other, but I kind of just wanted to include basketball in this area, and this was my way of sneaking it in. So this looks like a generic theme park shack that's on a boardwalk, and that's exactly what I was going for. So mission accomplished. So So back on over to our main area. Ooh, this is the best thing I've done in this game, period. I've got to say. This is an emporium, and right now it's just a restaurant inside, and there's a bunch of different foods, restaurants, that kind of stuff. There's no interior. I almost wanted to make this an arcade, but it's incredibly too fancy to be an arcade. So we're going to pretend there's like a bar in there and that kind of stuff. And it really just it steals your eye. I don't know the name, but I referenced I'll throw a picture on the screen here. I referenced a boardwalk photo probably from like the 1920s or maybe even earlier. I took that direct inspiration from that architecture, and that really starts carrying on into the rest of this area, and will continue to carry on. This next thing, woo-wee, man, this actually, I take it back. This is my favorite thing I've ever built. This turned out way better than I expected it to. This is our bumper cars, and man, this thing was a challenge. The bumper cars in this game are not designed to be on the grid as far as the building itself. If I zoom in here, like all of this right here, all these lights, it is not designed to be covered up. So this was not easy. I ended up doing a bunch of different grids and a bunch of different buildings just to accomplish this final look. One gripe that I discovered, but actually ended up being a blessing in disguise, was I couldn't find any pieces that went with this castle spire. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but I love the fact that it's open air now that I'm actually looking at it and actually finished the building. But man, I'm just in love with this. I didn't originally intend on making this a full walk around, but it made perfect sense too with these arches. I mean, it's just free flow. It has this really old, classic, old-timey feel to it, and it's just, I love it. It just goes to the park so well, and I really think it completes this area genuinely. Like this Emporium's fantastic. I love it, but man, these bumper cars, whoo, so excited. Okay, well, that's pretty much all that I have to show right now. There's a lot of detail that went into this area, and I've put so many hours into it. I'm really, really happy with it, but there's still so much more to do. So I'm gonna give one final look here to this area before we sign this episode off. Just kind of an aerial view. And I'll give you my plans for what's gonna happen next. So while we're looking at this aerial view, hey Windows, while we're looking at this aerial view, the plan right now to finish this area off is we're going to have a theater right here. And I'm gonna kind of just hold off on that. That'll be the next episode. I'm actually gonna do a time lapse. There's gonna be a big old theater here for shows to happen. And then we'll probably put another ride or two back here. And then after that, this area will be done. We'll complete this little western turnaround right here. Maybe add another roller coaster. And I might actually add another roller coaster back in this area. We'll see. I'm having a lot of fun with this area. Now, originally I was planning to make this a pretty small area, but this honestly is stealing the best area in the park by miles. And I take that, that not lightly. What's the word I'm looking for? This park is like 5 or 6 years old. This was the first area I built, and really when I started digging into Planet Coaster, the quality and detail is just so much better in this new area, and this is kind of the standard that I want to uphold going forward. So when we redo Main Street, it'll have the same quality of detail and everything else that we touch in this park. So it's a lofty goal to finish this by November 6th, by when Planet Coaster 2 comes out, but I think we can get it done. Maybe this week we'll be finishing this area, and then from there, it's just really this little transitional area, and then putting this level of detail into Main Street here and finishing it off. Oh yeah, in this garden. So I think we can get this done in a month and a half. I might not have any social life, but it'll be worth it, and I'll be super stoked to get a new park going in Planet Coaster 2. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll definitely probably get some more up-close shots in the future if you want more of that. I don't think I showed everything in detail as much as I could, but there's also more details to be added, so that's kind of why I didn't show everything as far as the shops go. So stick around. In episode 5 we'll dive into all that, and it'll be exciting. So have a good day, night, or evening, and thanks for watching. Bye.